Welcome back to another episode of Temple Time. My name is Courtney Tiffany. I am a writer and a priestess, and today I want to talk about the myth of Namaka. Namaka is the Hawaiian goddess of the seas. So when you're ready, let's dive in. So today I want to talk about Namaka, who she is, what her story is, her energy, kind of what she represents. Namaka is sister to Pele. Pele is the well-known volcano goddess within the Polynesian Hawaiian pantheon. But a lot of people don't know about Namaka. I feel like even in my own research, it was really hard coming across stories of just Namaka specifically because she kind of is almost like this supporting deity, the supporting character in Pele stories. Um, so I'm going to tell you her story, Namaka's story, kind of more from her viewpoint because I feel like it often gets told from Pele's. So let's get started. So Namaka is the daughter of Kuaha'ilo and Haumea, and she's the sister to Pele, and she's got many brothers and sisters, and they live on the island of Tahiti. And um, growing up, there's a lot of tension. Between Pele and Namaka. Namaka being the ocean goddess, Pele being the goddess of fire. And so already there's like they don't mix. And the stories portray them as like mortal enemies. Like they're just constantly fighting. There's this huge theme of like sibling rivalry. But Namaka fears for Pele, right? And I think Namaka being the ocean goddess, right? Ocean, the water element represents our intuition, our emotions, our like inner depths, our subconscious. And I think this gives Namaka this power of prophecy. She is able to understand that if Pele does not control her powers, great destruction is going to come to their island. So as the two sisters are growing up, Pele is learning to control her powers. Pele's uncle gives her a digging stick called a pa'oa, and essentially this is to control her powers, right? So she's playing with it one day, and um, she's not paying any attention, and essentially she sums up way too much energy, way too much power, and lava just starts pouring throughout the entire island. And this causes Namaka's home on the shoreline to get destroyed. So already Namaka like understands, Pele is extremely powerful, and this fiery energy that she has can be extremely destructive. So they send Pele away, right, to find her own home so she doesn't cause harm to anybody else, and Pele comes to the Hawaiian Islands. Um, there's so many different versions of this myth, and there's also other stories that Namaka is married to this really powerful sorcerer, right? She's attracted to his warrior spirit, and let me try and pronounce his name. Akele Huaioku. Maybe. Um, so Namaka is married to this sorcerer, and he essentially has eyes for Pele, and in some myths, also their sister Hiaka. And so there is this deep betrayal, right? Not only from Namaka's husband, but also from her sister, right? Now, in some myths, her husband seduces Pele, in some myths, Pele is the seducer or the seductress, but it really doesn't matter, right? Like there is this huge sister wound, this rift caused between them because of this betrayal, and Namaka gets really angry. And so she goes after Pele, right? So she chases Pele through the Hawaiian Islands. They go to Kauai, they go to Oahu, they go to Maui until Pele reaches the big island of Hawaii, and she essentially creates this big crater. And Namaka's waters are unable to reach her from up there, right? Pele needs to be on land because that's how she can access her power. That's where she can draw up the lava, right? The fire energy. And each time her and her sister fight, Namaka is able to put out her fires. Namaka and Pele are evenly matched. So Pele is on Mauna Loa and Namaka can't reach her, right? So the story goes that even to this day, whenever Pele erupts, you know, her lava travels all over the island, but once it reaches the sea, it's put out. When I work with goddesses, the first place I start is usually the myths, right? Their stories. What can their stories teach us? And this story of Namaka and Pele holds a very deep sister wound, right? And based on this betrayal, and oftentimes, I mean, this is the way of patriarchal culture, right? The man is set free, he doesn't get reprimanded or anything, and it is these two women fighting against each other, right? For indiscretions that may or may not have happened or whatever, right? And it's this deep betrayal from her own sister. And the fact that they say, like, even today, like, the sisters, like, continue to fight and Namaka's constantly putting out Pele's fires, it's also a story about creation, right? And the elements and kind of how nature works in harmony and has this balance. But when I work with goddesses, it's going beyond those myths, right? And tapping into their energy and their essence and kind of what they stand for, and also opening ourselves up to their wisdom, their medicine, and what they can teach us. And as I've been exploring Namaka on this energetic level, I mean, to be the goddess of the ocean, just think for a moment. I mean, the ocean holds so much power, so much depth, and it's this like vast expansiveness, right? The ocean covers 70% of our earth and it holds so much mystery. There's so much of the ocean that we have yet to explore or we might not ever understand, right? Because it goes so deep. And it's so funny because I have been almost like paddling upstream. I feel like fighting against the current of who is Namaka. Because Namaka, yes, the ocean can be destructive, right? Yes, she can send tsunamis. But it really, Namaka, I think her biggest lesson, her energy is all about surrender and flow, right? Our lives go through these cycles of ebb and flow, expansion and contraction, and learning to kind of just ride the waves. Um, I don't, yes, Namaka is fierce, I think, when she can be, but I think she is also extremely wise and she has a lot of medicine and a lot of wisdom to offer us. And like just thinking about salt water, right? Like we take salt baths to purify and cleanse. And the ocean gives us this, it has so much healing powers. And to me, that is Namaka's gift, right? When we tap into Namaka and kind of ride her currents and kind of just learn to surrender, right? If you've ever been like caught in a riptide, like like to not struggle, like the more you struggle, you're just fighting, you're just expending energy. And you have to learn to ride the wave until it's done. That's the only way you can get through it. And especially now, I feel like life right now has just been this constant riptide. And it's learning to just really go with the flow. And that has been Namaka's, biggest lesson for me. As much as I know this, it's always a great reminder, I think, for all of us, just to kind of relax and understand that we don't know everything. We like to think that we're in control. We like to think that we know what we're doing, but there is so much that's out there that we have yet to explore about ourselves, about, how we live, about what we want to create, about the way the universe works, whatever it is, right? There is so much more for us to explore. So, throughout the rest of this month, within the online temple space, within the monthly goddess alignment, we're going to be exploring kind of working with the element of water, tapping into these depths within our psyche, our subconscious, and really pulling out those pearls of wisdom, right? And opening ourselves up to Namaka's medicine. So if you're in the monthly goddess alignment, those videos will be dropping every week, every Monday, as usual. If not, you are always welcome to join if you're watching this on YouTube later, no matter when you come across this, right? All of the videos, the guided meditations, everything resides within the online temple space, so you are more than welcome to join us. I do also create like a little altar card every month for our goddess that we're honoring. And this just kind of talks about who she is, her myths, ways to honor her, her archetypes, and all sorts of little goodies in there. So you can access that within our online temple. And if this resonated, if this kind of helped you learn about Namaka more, please let me know. And yeah, that's all I have for you this week. So thank you for sticking around, and I will see you next week.